Weidinger is at 7. 5 lands in play. He has an Oblivion Ring on a Wolfear Avenger, but it looks to that Nolen has a nearly lethal team here.
Yeah, and Nolen only on 3 lands and a Rakdos Keyrune, able to get Chris Weidinger down to 7. And sever the Bloodline in Lauren's hand, ready to put a stop to any Angel of Serenity shenanigans that Chris might have in store.
It's interesting, Nolen not able to race Chris's reanimation package. His strategy more will rely on him simply being able to out-removal spell Chris Weidinger. You know, landing cheap threats, Olivia, Stranglerootgeist, Wolfear Avenger, to try to get a fast clock and to back it up with a couple severs.
Yeah, and you know, the card Olivia is it's really a problematic card for Chris Weidinger, because even if he gets an Angel Serenity into play, a Gristlebrand into play, well, that doesn't deal with the threat that's already in play. Olivia can ping, untap, and steal any one of those really big creatures. Or it can double, triple ping and just swing past.
You know, actually it was possible that he had the Golgari Charm to shrink Lauren's team.
Yep, this will bring the Geist back, making a 3-2 and make Olivia only deal 2 damage here.
Actually, if Nolen wants, he can use Olivia to shoot the Stranglerootgeist himself.
Yeah, and it looks like that is what he's thinking about.
The question will be whether or not he has another play he wants to make this turn. It looks like, yep, no, he's going to make the play. Olivia turning into a 4-4, shoots Stranglerootgeist, shrinks down to a 3-3, puts Chris Weidinger at 4 life and likely 1 turn.
Both creatures get a +1/+1 counter, and Chris Weidinger takes 3.
So casting travel preparations almost. And your Nolen post board here has really gone big. If you look at his hand, he's got a Garruk Primal Hunter in it, which I believe came out of the... No, sorry, that one's from the main. But it looks like he's taking a lot of... certainly has a lot of heavy hitters right now. Garruk Primal Hunter, 4 Wolfear Avenger, 4 Huntmaster of the Fells, 4 Thragtusk, 3 Olivia Voldaren. So Lauren Nolen's deck reminds me of a lot of these block decks. With these Jund block decks, or really their game plan is to mash the best creatures they can find.
Right, and it seems like that's sort of the schema that Lauren Nolen built his deck off of. At every point in the curve, he just has an amazing, amazing creature, just a creature that's maybe a little too aggressively costed, just pretty above the curve. Stranglerootgeist is an amazing 2-drop, Wolfear Avenger, pretty efficient 3-drop, and of course Olivia Huntmaster, Thragtusk. I've already said a lot about those this weekend.
Right. Unburial Rites, targeting Angel of Serenity, into play for Chris Weidinger. So the reanimation package is online. Angel of Serenity is going to grab the Stranglerootgeist, the Olivia Voldaren, and he does not... Okay, Olivia is going to ping Angel of Serenity. Now remember, that will make Angel of Serenity into a vampire.
Right. So in case Lauren Nolen gets another Olivia in play and 5 mana...
Like the one he has in his hand.
Perhaps. Now, if Lauren Nolen, well, he has the Sever the Bloodline either way, so he will be able to deal with that Angel of Despair this turn if he wants to. Would have loved to draw a land there, but he'll have to settle for Farseek. I imagine he'll be severing this right now. Though Olivia is an option if he feels like he's going to draw a land pretty soon.
Alright, so Chris, he drew Farseek. He now has Olivia Voldaren, Garruk Primal Hunter, Farseek, a replacement. Yeah, and that last card is a Mizzium Mortars. So lots of options for him. I think all of them pretty good options.
Yeah, definitely. Lauren looking a little frustrated on the right there. Looks like he really would have liked to have drawn a land.
Drawing a Farseek instead of a land when you really need one is kind of always a frustrating sequence of events.
Yeah, it kind of makes you question why the card Farseek is in your deck, but it's sure nice on turn 2.
So he's going to cast the Olivia right now. Remember, if he draws the land, he's starting to untap and gain control of Angel of Serenity. So, interestingly enough, Lauren Nolen not really wanting all those cards to come back to his hand.
Right, he doesn't need them in his hand. They would definitely be flooding him with spells right there. Would way rather just steal the Angel and beat Chris down. And really, Chris can't even attack here. Because if he does, Loren just cracks back for the win for 4 damage. And he also has the key rune to worry about, which is an actual threat right here.
Angel of Serenity swings in for 5. Remember that it's not a 1/1 counter, that is a vampire counter.
Yep.
Or it's just a marker. Thragtusk brings Chris Weidinger back up to 9 life. Chris trying to stay in this game. Alright. Untap by Loren. If he can draw another Mana Source here, he will own himself. He draws another Olivia.
That is just the absolute worst draw in the deck for Loren Nolen. The last card he wanted to draw was 3rd Olivia.
And Chris Weidinger has a window now to race.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? One more land, he can actually play another Angel of Serenity.
Right. So Loren Nolen, and remember Chris Weidinger's hand with at least one, maybe 2 more Angel of Serenities in it.
Yeah, the only thing he really has to worry about from Loren Nolen is, of course, Sever the Bloodline, which would kill all 3 Angel of Serenities.
Right.
if all 3 happen to be in play. Loren Nolen taking his time here, trying to figure out a way into this game.
I almost want to say he's going to Farseek here. If he Farseek and Mortars the Thragtusk. As bad of a play as that seems, Loren needs to just find a way to economize on the cards in his hand. Once he can get into, he should feel very comfortable in the late game here, playing against Chris Weidinger.
Right, he just has so many amazing spells in his hand. He just has to live that long. And it looks like he is going to go with your play here. Maybe. Loren cautious as always. Oh, he pings. Okay. Ping and swing.
Alright, he's going to ping the Thragtusk, most likely. And then Farseek here. So he's going to do that instead of Mortarsing.
Interesting. He's trying to set up... Well, the reason he did this is so that Chris Weidinger has to block that Olivia Valdarn next turn, or at least so the Olivia Valdarn will threaten lethal.
Right.
A little surprised to see Loren Nolen maybe not get a red source for Olivia.
Right, well, what we can see is that another Angel of Serenity, now that Christopher Weidinger can drop Loren Nolen down to... Yeah, the ping is on Thragtusk, can drop Loren down to 10. Vraska the Unseen.
First time we've actually had this card in play this
First time
weekend.
we've seen the Unseen.
Seen the Unseen, yep. That's true. And that'll destroy target non-land permanent.
That's going to take down Olivia. That's very strong. Loren Nolen going to drop to 3, may not have another play here.
No, and he's has to be kicking himself for not severing that Angel of Serenity right away.
Well, I'm not even sure that, Loren Nolen was kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place here. Just Angel of Serenity swinging, no Thragtusk swing. Chris Weidinger doesn't want to lose to a Burn Spell plus Rakdos Key Rune. But that does give Loren a bit of an opening, since Chris was not being as aggressive.
But with another 4 drop straight into Loren's hand, that's the trouble with this Jund mid-range deck. It sure does have a lot of 4s.
Right. Loren Nolen is probably going to be forced to Thragtusk here. So he also has, the options are Huntmaster, basically any of the large beaters in his deck, but only one of them. He can play Huntmaster of the Fells, Olivia Valdarn, Thragtusk, Sever the Bloodline, and Garruk Primal Hunter. All are options available to him.
What Loren Nolen wouldn't give for a Chrome Mox right now?
Thragtusk will put him back up to 13.
That is his best play here. Just he hopes to trade Thragtusk for Thragtusk, take Angel Beats, hopefully sever it at some point.
He has another Angel of Serenity. He still does not have his 7th land. So Vraska will no mercy.
And at least the Angel will swing. We'll see if the Thragtusk comes in too. He might want to protect his Vraska.
Maybe. Well, more like his life total.
Right.
Alright, Faithless Looting from Chris Weidinger. Throws into a Bonfire and another Thragtusk. So discard an Angel of Serenity.
Wow.
And an Angel of Serenity. No intention of casting them since he does not have the land.
Yep, probably realizes Loren Nolen does have 3 Sever the Bloodline after sideboard.
Right. The Angel of Serenity swings in for Chris Weidinger. And he's going to play Centaur Healer, bringing himself back up to 8. So we have 8 all right now. Lauren Nolen with the stronger hand, but Weidinger with the stronger board.
And can you believe that we might have Centaur healers in the finals of this tournament?
Yeah.
Lauren Nolen again missing on land here. There's really nothing going right for him. Every draw step must be so frustrating here, as the game just slowly slips further and further away. His options are really just Thragtusk or Sever here.
All right. Alright, so on Lauren Nolen facing down, well, he's gonna need to leave up another blocker. He's facing down at least 8 power worth of attacks this turn. Lauren Nolen at 8, along with Chris Weidinger.
Looking at the Thragtusk in his hand, decides it's not quite time to sever yet. The reason he's doing that probably is because next turn, if he draws a land, he'll be able to sever plus Mizium Mortars. Or overload Mizium Mortars.
Right. A second Thragtusk comes down for Lauren Nolen, bringing him back up to 13. Basically buying him another turn. He's going to pass.
Yeah, and if I'm Chris Weidinger here, I definitely blow up that Vraska the Unseen just to kill a land or a key rune.
Well, we also have the option, if he kills a Thragtusk and he Dreadbores the token, Chris Weidinger. Lauren Nolen's at 13 now. Doesn't get the win. It's close. He's gonna No Mercy the Vraska. Playing it safe swings Lauren Nolen down to 8. He's to make another Thragtusk of his own. Alright, another Thragtusk of his own, so large beasts everywhere.
Dueling 5/3s on both sides.
Chris Weidinger trading life totals with Lauren Nolen.
Yep, favor definitely goes to Chris Weidinger though, because he has that Planeswalker ticking up. He has a lot more mana, and Lauren Nolen misses on land again. Just Appetite for Brains is the last card he wants to draw. Right after Chris Weidinger empties his hand of Thragtusks, he draws the Appetite for Brains. Just really poor timing for Lauren Nolen's draws this match. And as more and more turns go by, he might have to blow that Mizium Mortars. He'd rather not, but...
And he's going to get that 4th Angel of Serenity.
Yep, seeing Bonfire of the Damned and Dreadbore.
That Bonfire, with one more mana, that Bonfire can go for 3, which with all the Thragtusks will certainly be lethal.
Yeah, and the Vraska -3 ability.
Right. Lauren Nolen has to look at the board here and realize that things are pretty grim for him.
Yeah, and he has to cast the Sever now. He's out of time.
And Sever on the Angel of Serenity up. Both cards go back into Lauren Nolen's hand.
Yep. Little comfort, though, as he can't really cast them.
No. Lauren Nolen here, dead to a land drop from Chris Weidinger. Land drop. Yep, land drop will create 2 3/3s, drop Lauren to 5. Vraska will eat one of the 3/3s. That should be game if he can draw a land.
And he doesn't...
Actually, sorry, even so, Dreadbore plus Vraska is enough to win here. Just Dreadbore Thragtusk, Vraska the token, swing.
Right, swing away. No, it looks like
Not
Grizzly
sure he
Salvage
sees it yet.
first. And another Thragtusk, wow. Should be taking that Thragtusk here, though.
Well, if he sees the play, if he sees the fact that he has him dead right now, I don't know if it matters what he takes. It doesn't matter what he takes. Alright, Chris Weidinger does have... Lauren Nolen last turn severed the Angel of Serenity. Chris Weidinger with potential lethal right here.
Yep, Lauren Nolen, though, not scooping. He wants to make Chris play it out and make sure Chris sees it. And we'll see if he does. Now, again, that counter on Chris Weidinger's Thragtusk, not a +1/+1, not a -1/-1. That's a vampire counter. Thragtusk has been 1 to the sparkly side.
Right. And that Olivia that gave him the bite is now back in Lauren Nolan's hand.
Yep, it is.
I don't think Chris Weidinger sees that he has this.
No, it doesn't look like it. Look at his options, though. He might realize it. He's not the one to just... Oh, almost said go there.
Oh my.
He hasn't used his Vraska yet, either.
Right.
He can't say go here.
And
Wow.
he passes the turn. He doesn't use the Planeswalker. Doesn't. Wow. Christopher Weidinger. Been playing very solid all weekend, but right there might have given that game away.
Yeah, Lauren Nolen, though, can't punish him. Doesn't draw a land. He has Huntmaster, Olivia, Garrick in hand. Just really clogged on expensive cards. He still can't play 2 spells in one turn.
Right, well, he has to know that the problem, Lauren Nolan, Christopher Weidinger took a Thragtusk, and remember that Lauren, so he doesn't have a land yet, but Lauren Nolan has to know that if Chris gets a 7th land, he's going to get bonfired for 3. Cards like Huntmaster won't actually win him the game.
Right. Won't, in fact, do anything. But that might be his only option here.
Alright, he's going to make a Huntmaster. Lauren Nolan will go up to 10.
Yep, he'll get a 2/2 wolf.
Currently playing on borrowed time.
Shouldn't even be in this game right now.
And he'll pass back. Can Weidinger hit the land? No, it's a 2nd Dreadbore.
Wow,
So it's going to give... This time Chris Weidinger does not have lethal, though it's very close. He realizes now he didn't use his Vraska last turn, so Vraska will tick up to 5. Dreadbore on Huntmaster.
Okay.
And that's going to mean he can't cast Thragtusk this turn either.
Well, you know, I have to say, just like you, I've been impressed with Chris Weidinger's play, but this game just...
He's missing that he has it.
It's almost slipping away from him here. He's giving Lauren Nolan time to draw more land or some relevant spells. Lauren Nolan, though, not cooperating. Rather, I should say the top of his deck is not cooperating with him. Chris Weidinger on the left. I did a little detective work last night. It seems that Chris Weidinger, very, very new to the Magic scene. This might be his first Star City Open. Certainly the first one he's made money. Wow. So congratulations to him for even getting this far.
Alright, so we have Lauren Nolan has hit his land drop finally. He's at 6. Recall Mizium Mortar's overloads at, is it 6 mana?
6 mana. Red 3 for Mizium Mortar, so he has that option available to him right now.
And he's going to do it.
Yep.
The overload all 3 of Weidinger's creatures, and Lauren has clawed his way back into the game.
Yeah, and he still has to sweat the land drop from Chris Weidinger. If Chris draws it, Lauren drops to 7 and then 1 with an empty board. We'll see if he can do it. Oh, and it looks like he's thinking about attacking with these Thragtusks.
Remember that Vraska has no mercy.
Right.
So now Vraska,
and it looks like all the creatures are getting turned sideways. I imagine they're coming. Oh wow. He just blocks.
I don't think I don't like that play. It really is taken away. Chris Weidinger is almost out of threats, and he has to assume that Lauren Nolan's hand is.
Right, he discarded 2 Angel Serenities earlier. He's
Right.
really neutering his late game ability.
Rocks Faithmender on the draw. That's not really a card at this point in the game.
No.
You have to remember that Lauren Nolan has so many Olivia Boldarans in hand. That card will dominate the late game on its own.
Yeah, and now Vraska the Unseen should be blowing up a permanent here. She probably can't realistically get to her ultimate in time. Oh, no, she'll tick up. Lauren Nolan will certainly ignore that Planeswalker and just keep assaulting Chris's life total directly.
Mm-hmm.
And that Vraska could be on 7 right now.
Yeah. Dreadbore on a token. I don't like that at all. That has to go down on an Olivia.
Right, he has to save that for the Olivia. The bonfire in his hand will take care of one if he draws a land, but not both. And here comes the lands for Lauren Nolen.
Yeah, that Olivia is should dominate this game. It even outclasses Vraska the Unseen's ultimate,
Right.
making 3/1/1 assassins, all taken care of by Olivia Voldaren. And I don't really see a path for Chris Weidinger to get back into this.
Now he's going to need to draw some Unburial Rites very soon.
Right.
Chris Weidinger rolling Temblor in the graveyard, but that does not hit flyers, nor does it even do 3 damage, so that won't do it.
Actually surprised that card is still in the deck. While it deals with Huntmaster of the Fells, it's the only card in Lauren Nolen's deck that it has any presence against.
Right. I mean, not good against Strangleroot Geist. All right against Huntmaster. Otherwise, not so great. So Lauren Nolen's 7 mana available to him here. Can still only play 1 spell.
7, he's going to go to the graveyard and cast Flashback Sever the Bloodline and deal 5 damage. Probably just to Chris Weidinger.
Yeah, I think so. Threatening lethal next turn with the Key Rune. Yeah, I think if you can't kill the Vraska, there's really no point in attacking anything other than the life total. Although, no, it looks like the Wolf gets sent at the
It's going to
Vraska.
hit Vraska down to 4. I'm not sure what the difference between 4 and 6 on Vraska is.
Might be playing around a Bonfire for 2.
Yep.
Oh, wow, there's a Bonfire.
Sure. Remember, Lauren Nolen with no more life gain. I think it's a very good play here for Chris Weidinger. He's going to Bonfire for 5. Lauren Nolen drops for 5. Okay, so here's a path to victory. If he draws another Bonfire of the Damned.
That would do it. Now, the problem is he only has 2 in his 75. 1 in his hand, 1 in his graveyard.
Okay, so he can't Miracle another one. And Vraska ticked back up to 5. No mercy.
Chris Weidinger, though, on a precarious 8, pretty close to dead here, especially with that Key Rune always threatening the last 3 points.
Alright, 2 mana from Lauren Nolen.
This is looking like a Strangleroot Geist here.
Yep. And a Key Rune activation is going to send Chris Weidinger down to 3 life.
Yep, again, just ignoring that Vraska. And if Vraska killed that Key Rune a while ago, Visium Mortars would not have been able to be overloaded.
Yeah, there was that
redamage
one turn where
prevented.
Chris missed that. He missed a Vraska trigger.
So now he has a Sever and a Vraska activation. He can Sever Geist, Vraska
Yeah,
Key
and now he
Rune.
does know off of Grizzly Salvage that Weidinger has a Thragtusk in hand.
Right.
So that does change the equation a little bit. He's going to destroy Vraska's going to destroy the Key Rune.
At 3 life, no
And-
more time to mess around.
Thragtusk brings Chris Weidinger back up to 8. Lauren Nolen out of way. It looks like for now out of ways to gain life. Well, no, he has the Huntmaster of the Fells.
Yep,
so
one
Lauren can
Huntmaster
go up to
left in
7.
reserved. Now, if Chris Weidinger ever draws an Unburial Rites, this game will be tough for Lauren Nolen. Angel Serenity's waiting in the graveyard there.
Right. He's got appetite for brains, Chris Weidinger. He's going to get Sever the Bloodline.
Wow, definitely really, really key here. Chris can't flash that back. Stuck on 6. He's been stuck on 6 for quite a while.
Because Appetite for Brains does exile the card, so Sever will not be flashed back.
Right.
And he does have Olivia Voldaren comes like Rolling Temblor in the graveyard. Now Lauren Nolen is going to threaten to ping Thragtusk. And remember, that ping will actually get Olivia Voldaren out of Thragtusk range and out of Vraska range. Chris needs an Unburial Rites. And he gets another Thragtusk.
Wow. So the top of Chris Weidinger's deck also not very kind to him here.
Well-
He's been waiting on the 7 land for quite a while.
Chris Weidinger's in a dire situation here. Olivia is going to make Thragtusk into a vampire and then steal it.
Yep, and Vraska can only tick up and watch on.
think this is it. I think Lauren will. It looks like Lauren's gonna pull back through here. No mercy by Vraska. Thragtusk swings. Will almost certainly get chumped by Stranglerootgeist.
Yep, definitely. And I think Nolen just has lethal now because of that tap Thragtusk. If Chris plays another Thragtusk...
Well, he'll be at 13.
Right, that's right too. Not quite lethal.
Yeah, but that extra counter on Stranglerootgeist turns out to be very relevant. It means that Vraska will not be... Lord Nolen will be able to kill the Vraska.
Right. Kill the Vraska, prevent the one last destruction. One last -3. And here it is. There's the Tusk. Chris Weidinger up to 13. 2 Thragtusks in play.
Yep, he'd already used Vraska. Passes the turn. And pinging Thragtusk. And by playing an untapped one, now... Well, it can't give his Thragtusk haste. So, Weidinger's still alive. 1, 2. How many pings does he have? 1, 2, 3. So you can give Olivia +3/+3, making her a 7 in the air. 8, 9, 10. He cannot do 13. Close.
And that's a Wolfear Avenger drawn for Lauren Nolen. Not too relevant at this stage. He'll almost certainly be stealing Thragtusk and attacking here. Olivia Valdarin, really importantly now, out of bonfire range.
Right, we'll probably see just Stranglerootgeist swinging at Vraska and the Thragtusk getting stolen.
Yeah, Lauren Nolen has that 5 mana ready. He's pretty sure he's taking it. He's going to do it.
Olivia using her mind control abilities on Thragtusk.
First time we've seen that 5 mana ability activated this weekend.
Right.
Though the threat of it is almost always more important than the actual activation.
Right. With the exception of Unlimited,
Right.
where it's
where
that's what she always. That's all she does. And he's gonna swing Olivia at the Vraska, or Olivia at Chris, and the Stranglerootgeist at Vraska.
Yep, and he'll use Olivia to ping his own Geist for 1 more point of damage, it looks like. Making Olivia...
I don't know if that's necessary. You know, he's going to ping the Thragtusk. Yeah, to vampirize the Thragtusk.
Yep. Just in case he needs to steal that one too. So, here we go. Chris Weidinger really, really needs an Unburial Rites right now. Getting back Angel Serenity.
Yep, and that'll get it for him if he can do it. I'm sorry, it won't get in the game, but it'll be close. And there's the 7th land. Bonfire for 3, not going to be enough.
A little late. Chris Weidinger dead to the Olivia in the air, actually.
Right, Olivia can pump herself up to an 8/8 next turn.
Yeah. Only needs 3 more counters, or 2 more counters. Yeah, 3 more counters, rather.
Alright, gonna cast Bonfire for 3. Lauren Nolen knows he has it.
And
Lauren Nolen drops down to 2.
Yep.
Beast Thragtusk trades with Beast token. And that should be all they wrote. Olivia Valdarin, now 5/5 flyer, yep. Lauren Nolen says ping 3 times. Lauren Nolen taking game 2, they're gonna go to 3.
Wow, and yeah, they're talking about the game. It doesn't look like Chris Weidinger too upset about that. He's going to shrug it off. He knows he can win a game 3.
Right, his deck very strong.
Yeah. Interesting, though. Lauren Nolen drew 0 cremates that game.
Yeah, you have to assume that you have to assume that he boarded them in.
Yeah, I think that's safe to say. 0 cremates, 0 Liliana of the Veil, which I might have expected him to board in, but it does give Chris Weidinger a discard outlet, which may be all he needs. So if you're just joining us, I'm Zach Hall, he's Matthias Hunt, and we're coming to you live from Star City Games Open in Cincinnati. We're in the semifinals of the Standard Open. Todd Anderson already won his semifinal match over Joe Bernal in pretty quick fashion. Chris Weidinger and Lauren Nolen definitely in a way closer battle, and they're about to go to Game 3. Pretty exciting matchup. On the right, we have Jun Midrange, piloted by Lauren. Jun Midrange, Strangleroot Geist, Wolfear Avengers, Huntmasters, Olivia Valdarn's Thragtusks. Excellent mid-range deck versus the Freets deck of Chris Weidinger on the left, kind of a reanimation, graveyard hybrid.
So what we've seen out of each of them is we've seen out of Lauren Nolen, Appetite for Brains, and possibly Mizium Mortars, and certainly Cremate's coming in this matchup. All of which are very strong in this deck. Chris Weidinger, it appears, has voted in Rock's Faith Mender in this matchup. It's not exactly a card I'm particularly excited about him having.
No, and I definitely understand the appeal. It's a good blocker for Wolfear Avenger, Strangleroot Geist, Huntmaster of the Fells, but it performs really poorly against Olivia, against Thragtusk, against Mizium Mortars.
Now, what's your thoughts on Bonfire of the Damned in this matchup from Chris Weidinger?
I don't really like it. I feel like it'll have to be miracled to have good effect, and if it's not miracled, it's going to be, as we saw that game, really, really clunky. Yeah. I don't think I'd have him in the deck.
He had a bunch of turns where Lauren Nolen was dead to the 7th land.
Right.
He actually had one turn where unfortunately, where Lauren Nolen was actually dead. But
missed that line of play. That's okay. He had a lot of turns to draw land. He went brick, 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 and Lauren Nolen eventually drew out of his tight mana situation there.
So I think what we're seeing then is a situation, that Bonfire, if you're having to say, oh, why couldn't I hit the 7th land? Well, Chris Weidinger's deck is not anywhere near short of good things to do at 7 mana. And so in that sense, I'm not a huge fan of Bonfire either.
Right. We've seen a few times this weekend where Chris Weidinger has been stuck on 6 and just desperately needed that 7th land. Angel Serenity is almost always going to be better than Bonfire, unless Bonfire is winning you the game.
Right.
Now, I would actually like to see Lauren Nolen bring in Knight of Infamy if he has enough spots in his deck. That card is surprisingly potent against Chris Weidinger. It swings through Angel Serenity and Centaur Healer and Lingering Souls.
So the danger, I think, with that plan is that we've seen that Chris Weidinger has both the Bonfires and Rolling Temblors left in after Game 2. As Lauren Nolen, I would have expected Knight of Infamy to be good, but if I had sided it in, I might side it back out for Game 3. Chris Weidinger's sort of sideboard plan, from my point of view, if I were Lauren Nolen, I'd say it was unexpected, so I might have to adapt how I boarded.
That's true, too. The Bonfires, and especially Rolling Temblor, you'd hate to make a card as useless in this matchup as Rolling Temblor good against
Into a real card, yeah.
Right. Much rather just have him discard it to his Faithless Lootings or what have you.
Right, and in Chris's deck, I suppose with cards like Bonfire, so it's interesting. I think you can, because you're playing 4 Faithless Lootings, you can play cards like Bonfire with very low investment. If it's not good, you can discard it. At the same time, that would beg the question, why aren't they in Chris's main deck? If he does actually like them enough to board them in what appears to be a generic matchup.
Right, maybe Chris Weidinger expected more control this weekend. Maybe he wanted to hedge against that, have them in the sideboard. Not sure.
His 2 Rolling Temblors actually are main decked, as opposed to Bonfires.
Right, so he must have thought that they were better in the main deck.
Right, because you can cast them out of the yard, which makes sense. It's a graveyard, it's a mulch-based deck.
Right. When I was playing Freets, I looked at Rolling Temblor, but I found that it really it didn't do that much. It was not that strong of a card.
It's an awful lot of mana.
Yeah. 6 mana to flash back is, well, let's just say that's the last thing you'll want to do with your mana, with 6 mana. So Lauren Nolen finishing shuffling up here. Chris Weidinger is presented. There we go. This match going on for 51 minutes now and then just going to Game 3.
Right.
Definitely a grindy grindy match.
Todd Anderson has gone back to the hotel, eaten breakfast.
I don't blame him there. As he waits for his finals match, he can just chill out and be happy that he had a Joe Bernal matchup that he dispatched quickly. The quick deck in the top 4. So it looks like Chris Weidinger keeps his 7, Lauren Nolen going back for 6.
Okay. So we already have one invitational champion in the finals. Could we have another one? The two most recent Invitational champions meeting in the finals. Definite possibility if Lauren Nolen can pull off the win here. You know, and that's one of those things when you see that, you know, your two most recent Invitational champions possibly facing off in the finals of the next Open, it really is something that speaks to, you know, it's not just luck that gets players to the finals of these events.
Right, and it's, you know, it's clearly, you know, the new format. A lot of people say, oh, it's so random. It's a minefield.
It's anything but random.
Right, exactly. These two players clearly put some time into their deck. Lauren Nolen, this Judd mid-range deck that I haven't seen anyone else playing this weekend. And unfortunately for him, he's going to 5. He's going to have a 5-card hand. He'll be on the draw.
Yeah, Chris Weidinger, and, you know, I think Chris Weidinger, possibly easily the newest player of the 3 remaining competitors. No slight against him. He's in excellent company here, and I think really where he's gotten his edge this tournament is not necessarily on the battlefield, but is in the deck building. I think he's shown up with a deck, I think, with a better weapon than anyone else to this fight.
Oh, definitely. This deck is just so much more powerful than anyone's deck. You can make an argument for Lauren Nolen's because he has a lot of the best cards in the format. Olivia Thragtusk Sever, things like that. But Chris Weidinger's deck just operates on a paradigm that's a little different, that can't really be easily interacted with.
Remember, Chris Weidinger was the only player to go undefeated through the Swiss.
Yeah. And Lauren Nolen's 5-card hand, 3 lands, Rakdos Keyrune Cremate.
Drawing a 6th land on his first draw. This could be a short story for Lauren Nolen. Alright, so turn 1, Overgrown Tomb into tap for Chris Weidinger, followed by another tap land, Blood Crypt, and he's going to Duress.
Wow.
And there goes Cremate and Keyrune. Christopher Weidinger has to like what he's seen here.
Yeah.
It's possible that you want to take the Cremate here, just because a generic cycle is actually a better card than Keyrune.
Right, and Lauren Nolen draws Farseek on his first draw, and when he sees that, Chris will wish he took the Cremate.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion that I would have taken Cremate there. Not because I'm scared of Cremate, but because I just don't want him drawing any. I want him to not draw business, and Cremate says draw a card.
Right. The thing about taking Keyrune too is that it makes sure that Lauren can't cast Olivia without drawing an additional land. It makes it so he can't.
A Farseek from Lauren Nolen. Chris Weidinger mulches into 2 lands. He discards 2 Grisly Salvages, so no help in the graveyard department. But he gets a Temple Garden, which he'll put into play tapped. So he now has access to every non-blue man on his deck, and he has no blue spells. So
yeah. He's just building up to that Angel of Serenity. He has one in hand with an Unburial Rites. Other than that, though, it doesn't look like he has a heck of a lot going on.
No spells for Lauren Nolen yet. At this point, Lauren Nolen, while he has to really debate with that Cremate, is, you know, he clearly is not going to be able to stop Chris from executing his game plan. Chris is going to start doing graveyard root animation. So in that sense, Lauren would like to save the Cremate. At the same time, Lauren would love to draw a real spell sometime here, or maybe a creature. He drew a spell, it's Mizium Mortars. Now he has a Kessig Wolfrun, so when he gets a creature in play, he's going to have a pretty sizable threat.
Yeah, definitely. Chris Weidinger draws Bonfire of the Damned. Of course, does not Miracle it. It is not worth
didn't just want to Lava Spike it. And Olivia Voldaren with 1 mana up into play for Lauren Nolen. He's got to be happy that Chris Weidinger has just made lands for 5 turns.
Yeah.
The problem is Chris is actually just might cast a turn 7 Angel of Serenity. Is looking like what could happen here.
He can cast a turn 7 Angel. He can cast a turn 7 Bonfire for 3. If I'm Chris Weidinger, I do not play that Thragtusk right now.
Right, I would just want a Bonfire for 3 on 7, kill the Olivia.
Yep, and that's his plan. Definitely the right one.
And another land, so Mizium Mortars land Cremate from Lauren Nolen. With Kessig Wolfrun, he can Wolfrun Olivia, dealing 7 to Chris. Chris will drop to 13.
Yep. A third of Chris's life total gone from the Olivia.
The legendary vampire.
Yep. And Kessig Wolfrun still as scary as it ever was.
So Olivia, affectionately known as the Tripod, I've heard her called.
The Tripod.
I don't know if you can get a picture of her art on here. If you've ever taken a very careful look at Olivia Voldaren's art, you will maybe see why she's earned such a why I've heard this nickname. Originally drawn, she happens to have 3 legs. She has 2 at the bottom, and then she has her hand on her knee.
Right, yeah, she's really in a comfortable pose, though, hand on the knee.
Hand on the knee, but then both feet at the bottom.
Right.
So.
Well, right. You know, in Innistrad, vampires have 3 legs. That's all there is to it.
Vampires have 3 legs. All right, Chris Weidinger All right, at 7 mana, looking, and I think it's got to be Bonfire. He's probably debating between Bonfire and Angel. He's going to Angel instead.
Angel, yeah.
I think I like the Bonfire there more.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but Angel Serenity will trap Mrs. Edgington underneath herself.
Strangleroot Geist drawn by Lauren Nolen. So Lauren Nolen's mulligan to 5, possibly unable to race, and he's bluffing a Mizzy. He's not bluffing, he's representing Mizium Mortars here. The question is can Lauren Nolen race just land, land, Angel of Serenity?
Right. And yeah, Chris Weidinger thinking about the block here. He's thinking, do I want to trade this with a Mizium? Do I want to trade this with a Wolf Run for 2 or for 1 plus a Pillar?
If I have a Thragtusk in my hand, my answer to that is no.
Yeah, same.
And he's going to Wolf Run it up to 4. So Chris Weidinger drops to 9. 9 and 20 are life totals, but you have to realize here that Chris Weidinger in the driver's seat with so many cards. Another Angel.
Wow.
What a backbreaker! Another Angel of Serenity into play.
Right now, I'm not sure.
I don't want it out. I know my opponent's playing Sever the Bloodline.
Right.
I just don't.
And even though he only has 2, it's not worth it. Just play Thragtusk, hold Bonfire.
Right, Thragtusk into play. I'm not sure if I'm Chris if I'd play any more of my lands. He does have a Faithless Looting, so he plays Thragtusk, goes up to 14. He's going to pass back to Lauren Nolen.
Yep, life totals 14, 15, and Lauren Nolen just has to hope to draw a 3rd red source so he can overload Mizium Mortars at some point.
Remember, there's still that Bonfire of the Damned in Weidinger's hand.
Right, and credit to Weidinger, he didn't even think about miracling it, so Lauren Nolen shouldn't know it's there.
Right, that's one of the it's one of the hard things is to draw it. Is to almost you have to before you draw think if I were to draw a miracle, would I miracle it?
Right.
Strangleroot Geist swings. It's deciding if he actually wants to make Thragtusk block there. I think so. I think trading Thragtusk with Lauren's turn is good.
Right, exactly. The important part is the mana.
Right, so he's going to Wolf Run it for X minus 1. So Wolf Running it for 3. Looks like he's going to put that Cremate up. But I think we're going to see Bonfire now.
Yeah, for sure. Chris Weidinger took 2 damage that turn, dropped to 12.
And we have a 9th land, so it can be a Bonfire for 4. I think Weidinger does it.
Yeah, definitely. That would drop Lauren Nolen to 11. The attack.
And then down to 3.
3, yeah. So either creature is lethal. Now he's counting his mana with his finger. Lauren Nolen has to know what that means.
Bonfire. Bonfire the Damned for 4. Lauren Nolen dropping down to 11.
Unmiracled.
No, we have 9 mana, deal 4. It's his own Mizium Mortars in a way.
Flame Wave you.
And swinging with Angel Serenity and Thragtusk. Lauren Nolen dropping down to 3 life on his back foot. Chris Weidinger in his Frights deck trying to punch its way into the finals.
And it looks like he's going to be successful. A Desperation Cremate from Lauren Nolen.
Gets the Thragtusk. He doesn't want to see any more life gain out of Chris Weidinger.
No, but he does not draw the 3rd red source. He has a Huntmaster, but that brings him up to 5. And 5
not enough
dead.
to deal with Angel. So he has Cremate to see if he can find an answer. He's going to go for it, Cremating. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Guys, there's no creature in there. It's all fine.
Yep.
Let's say the Bonfire. And he draws. It's a woodland cemetery.
Black,
That's not going to get
source.
there.
That'll be the
and
game.
There's the concession. Christopher
Handshake.
Weidinger moving into the finals. Frights, still the undefeated deck. He's defeated 1 invitational champion this morning. Can he defeat another?
Wow, really impressive from Chris Weidinger. He moves his individual record to 10-0-1 on the weekend. Crazy.